Welcome to the Interactive Map and Reporting Features edition of this CED webinar series. My name is Matt Heller, and Leif Wickman will be joining me for this presentation. We're going to walk you through the new and improved interactive map and reporting features we have available for you. Here's an overview of what we'll cover in the webinar. We'll start with the basic map functions, then we'll show you how to view and select data in the map. Next, we'll walk you through the search and query filter options to refine information displayed on the interactive map. And finally, we'll demonstrate the various ways in which the interactive map summarizes information and generates reports based on your query selections. So we'll first do a demo here on the basic map functions, which will include the basic navigation, base layers, legend, and layers. And then we'll get into some source layer links here. So we're going live here, a live demonstration of the basic map functionality. Like many decision support tools and interactive maps, the CED interactive map has the ability to pan and zoom. So that's basic. You can see here I'm holding down the left click and I'm panning around. For zooming, you can use the zoom in and zoom out buttons, or you can use your roller mouse. Or one little tip that I like to tell people is you can hold down a shift key, and with your left click on your mouse, you can make a box and that'll zoom into an area of your interest. So more standard functionality includes the changing of base map layers. Let's say we wanted to change it to be imagery, or we wanted some light canvas or dark canvas. For now, I'll switch back to the topographic base layer. And we'll change that later when we're showing one of the query options too, to show those conservation efforts nice and bold. So the CED also does contain a number of background layers, and to access that, you go to the Legend and Layer Options tab, and that expands the panel that is associated with that. And you can see here we have many different layers to choose from. I just turned on the breeding habitat distribution. So all these may add context to a particular effort and may also help you for future cite future conservation efforts too. And when you do turn on these layers, you can see a legend does change accordingly. We changed on that breeding habitat distribution layer, so the legend now expands. And if we turn that off, then it goes away. So if you would like to view or use these background layers yourself in your own software, we are in the process of adding links where you can access these data in their publicly accessible data libraries when those are available. And right now we have some links on the web page or the interactive map table of contents, or the layer visibility section, and we'll be expanding that in the future. So now I'll go over the viewing and selecting spatial information portion. So users have the ability to click any point, line, or polygon on the map and bring up a pop-up. That pop-up will have various high-level summary information. So I'm going to zoom into an area of interest here. I know what I want to look at. And you notice when a user clicks on a point, line, or polygon, if it's an area, it'll have a red outline with a light blue center. So that's how you know that an effort has been selected. And of course, a pop-up happens too. A pop-up comes up. So in this case, or in all cases, we'll show the implementing party, the activity, the sub-activity, so we're getting some good information, and then some other summary information, such as the total acres, and then the total calculated by GIS acreages also. And then one thing that's very handy too is a list of phone numbers too. In this case, there's only one phone number. Sometimes there's more than one phone number. If you're looking for more information about an effort, upon request, the CED team can help facilitate contact with that data provider.
And Matt, this is a good time to point out the importance of having accurate spatial information. In this particular example, we have reported acreages, which is less than the acres calculated by GIS in the polygon. It's important that we have accurate spatial information, as all spatial information will be intersected with various underlying resource layers. Matt earlier showed those resource layers in our legend and layer panel. And so we want to have accurate spatial data to improve our reporting.
Well, thanks, Leif. Also, I want to note that there is the existence of what we're calling multi-part areas or multi-part efforts. So if I click on an effort here, you can see many different other areas are showing as selected, that red outline with the light blue center. And that is because some efforts are made up of multiple efforts, multiple areas. Most are not multi-part, but we do have some efforts that are spatially discontinuous. In addition to that, one more note on the pop-up information is that if a user clicks on an area where there's more than one effort in that area, we'll see a listing of multiple efforts. And sometimes, in this case, there's 2 different efforts. Sometimes there could be many more. And to refine your selection, you just click the show link, and that'll give you more information. So moving on to sections 3 and 4, we're going to do one demonstration that covers both the search and query tools plus the summary and reports. That includes the tabular summary, the quick summary, the summary report, and the downloadable PDF report. For this, I'm going to refresh the screen to go full extent. So I'll describe all the options in the search query tools panel you see here on the left. First of all, there's drop-down query filter options. So for general or multi-effort queries, these drop-down filter options will help you whittle down the CED data set. So you can see we can select many different options here with these drop-down filters of implementation status, the start of the effort year, many different options, activity, sub-activity, implementing party. My favorite is the office one. And then we can go to management zone, state, and greater sage-grouse population areas. So that's pretty handy. Below that, I'll demonstrate that here in a minute. But below that, we have the spatial select tool that allows us to spatially select features on the map. And then the good old clear tool, which clears out your query, any pop-ups you might have, and zooms the map to the original extent. And then we have 2 search boxes here. If you know the name of your effort or the identifying number of the effort, you can type that in and simply zoom to your area of interest. And it brings up a pop-up. Or if you want to zoom to a geographic location, you can use the text box below that, the second one. And you could select any of those options and zoom to your area of interest. Now I'll demonstrate how we might use the filter options and walk you through various summaries and reporting features that are available. So this is a good time to remind everyone that the CED is currently in the process of collecting information, and you may experience delays in when various records are entered by our partner agencies. The CED can summarize that information we have, and at times they might not be up to date range-wide. So let's go ahead and demonstrate these filter options. So let's say you're very interested in conifer removal. So just so happens in the activity or the sub-activity, conifer removal is one of them. So I'm going to select conifer removal. And right away, the first thing you notice is the map moves a little bit. We get a table that shows up, and the quick summary panel updates. So these conifer removal polygons or these areas are a greenish tint. So to show them a little better, I'm going to switch that to the base map to the light canvas. Next, let's say we're really interested in efforts that overlap the state of Utah. So I'm going to go down to the state filter and click Utah. And you notice here we're zooming into whatever our query option spits out. And the reason why it's zooming to that is because by default, this checkbox here, zoom to results, is checked. If you don't want to zoom to your results after every query or filter option, you can just simply uncheck that box. So next, we're getting real close to what we want, but we still are interested in a particular start year of efforts, and that's 2014. So you can see the number of years, the options for the filter are a lot shorter, smaller than it was before. That's because whenever you select filter options, it refines all your options in the future. So you will never get 0 results, or you will never get 0 results on any selections. So we've selected 2014. We're whittling down, and we can look at the quick summary. It shows us we have 41 projects. Now, it comes to our attention that we're really interested in northeastern Utah, so we can use the select tool, the spatial select tool, or the select efforts on map tool to make a box. We hold that, we'll left click the mouse and select the efforts in the northeastern Utah, and it zooms to our area of interest. We have refined our selection. So now this is a good time to go over the table summary. And you can see the table summary can be resized somewhat, so that's kind of handy. Also, with the table summary, with any of these columns, we can sort ascending or descending, just like your typical spreadsheet, which becomes very handy. And we can also select a row, any of these records that we want, to zoom to that location and highlight it on a map. And once I highlight, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And then just because I'm curious, I'm going to click on that to get the pop-up for the summary information so I can see all that. And then also, let's say I'm not interested in seeing all these, or I want to whittle down the number of fields that I see, so I can simply uncheck however many fields I want and just see the fields that interest me. So with this, the table summary is obviously very powerful to get into that nitty-gritty, but let's say you're interested in acreage. Well, right away in the quick summary tab, or the quick summary portion of the map, we see total acres is totaled up. And then we also notice a link here that says the summary report. So that's the option to click to get to the summary report, which gives a comprehensive summary of all the information that meets our selection or our filtering. So you notice right away up top here, we have a map that is zoomed to our area of interest. If we want to zoom out a little more, we can do that. Show all those polygons that met our criteria. So we're seeing the same number of, a little bit of the same information. We have the 8 spatial projects. We have the same amount of acreages. We also get some information when the report was generated, so that's kind of a timestamp. And in this case, I want to change the base map to imagery, so we have the ability to change the base map. Maybe I don't like that because I can't see that. Let's change it to the dark canvas. And as we scroll down, we can see quite a bit of information. We can highlight or hover over the charts to get some more detailed information. We can see we're summarizing acres by various means, and we have quite a bit of information that you can do a deep dive on all sorts of ways to look at this data. So if you'd like to generate a PDF report, you can select the button in the upper right hand corner, and the report will convert to PDF. Now this does take a minute or two, so you can watch the spinning dial go, and you'll have to have a little bit of patience here, but it's nice that the report will be spit out in PDF format, formatted to a way that's easy to read, and then also has the timestamp of when that report was generated. So this report contains all the same information displayed in the browser window. You can see that report opened or downloaded, and I'm going to open that report, and there it is. So this concludes the webinar. We encourage you to explore the CED's interactive map, try out the features, and let us know if you have any questions or you have any comments. As always, for more information, visit us at conservationefforts.org. Thank you.